Hello, we're going to run through a tutorial on how to set up the Gigbar 2 and use it via DMX. The Gigbar 2 has some really good features as far as sound activation and auto modes, but if you want to incorporate it into a DMX show, it takes some few more steps. So it's got a couple different modes. We're going to be using it, controlling it through Enttec software, D-Pro. It's this software right here. It's a pretty solid piece of software, works pretty good. Anyway, here's the manual on the Gigbar, and the Gigbar's got a couple different modes that you can use it on. What we're going to be doing is doing it in 23 channel mode, and this isn't a tutorial on DMX in general. This is a tutorial on how to use it specifically, this fixture with this piece of software. So if you're not really sure what I'm talking about DMX wise, there's a lot of information out there, or you can post questions down below and I'll try to answer them. So what it does is, in 23 channel mode, is it splits up the two pars onto the first 10 channels, 5 channels each. So you've got red, green, blue, and then UV. And then the fifth channel, the first portion of the fifth channel, 0 to 127, controls the brightness for the combination of the first four. You can only use 3 of the 4 at the same time. I'll show you that later. And then the next section, 128 to 239, is the strobing speed, and then you can set it to strobe to sound, etc. So the first two are your pars. Then you've got your derby control, which basically selects the color of it, then strobe rate, strobe rotation for the derby. And then the same thing for the second derby. It's got 2 derbies. And then control for the laser. It's got 3 channels of control for the laser, and then 4 channels of control for the strobe. So the first thing that you have to do is have a fixture created for it in here. So we're going to come log in here. And here is the fixture that I've set up on it. And what we've done is we've broken out into multiple fixture modes, each of the different things. So we've got a 23 channel mode for the dimmer. So there's the 5 channels for that: red, green, blue, UV, par control, which then when you click on it down here, it shows the different ranges. So off, brightness, which is set as they're all going to work as a dimmer, strobe, all that type of stuff, derby control. So it's going to send between 75 and 99. It's going to send the blue, and I've got that set up for each of them. So inside the software, we've got them. I'm just going to set it up right here on channel 1 to make it simple. Come over here to the Chauvet and Gigbar 2, and the first thing that we're going to do is drag over, and we'll just go ahead and change this to 2. We're going to drag over 2 of the 23 channel, the mode 5 par dim, and there's a second one up here for snap. You can basically ignore that one. If you've got an older version of the Gigbar 2, there's a bug in its software that does not function properly on some of the dimming stuff, so I've got a second one here for snap. So if the dim acts goofy, you may want to try the snap on if it's acting that way. And if you get a hold of Chauvet, you can send it into them, and there's a fix for it. So we're going to drag 2 of these over, and we're going to start that at fixture 1. So it created 2 of the fixtures right there. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to drag over we're going to switch this down to just back to 1 fixture. We're going to drag over a derby control. So we're going to put a channel derby control here. We're going to start that at fixture 3. Then we're going to drag over a derby strobe, which is going to be fixture 4. Then we're going to drag over a derby rotation. And all of these, if you'll notice, they're just one channel thing for each of these. So that's going to go at 5. And then we're going to, what do? We just did the rotation. So now we're going to do another control. and this is now for the second derby. So same control. Oops. Right here, derby control. Set that to 6. And I'm going to do a derby strobe for 7. And then a derby rotation for 8. We're going to drag over the laser, which if you'll notice, it uses up 3 channels, and so it blocks them off as it does it. And that's going to start at fixture number 9. And then we're going to do the strobe. And this strobe isn't the same as the derby strobe. This is for the 4 white and UV strobe that's on the front of it. That's going to start at 10. So, if you'll notice here, it says that the strobe starts at 20. So it's going to use 20, 21, 22, and 23. So that's 23 channels of control up here. And so we're going to, I've got a second fixture, which I would set up the second fixture the exact same way, but for this demo we're just going to go with the one here. So at that rate we can close out the patch panel. And then if you come over here and you take a look at our library and our device browser. Up here there's the Gigbar stuff. So we're going to set up groups and things like that later on, but for right now, just to test it out and see if it's working okay, let's just grab the first 2 dimmers here and we'll turn on the program. Let's do that again. Turn on the first 2 dimmers, and I'm going to bring over this so that we can see what the fixture does as we do it. So we're going to turn around and turn the brightness up all the way, pull up the red, and as you can see, both the cans are working. It's not great video; it's just a webcam, but it gives you a little idea of at least what's happening out there. There's 2 separate cans on the thing, and notice up here where it says selection 1 and 2, that means it's using fixtures 1 and 2 from over here. So if we were to turn around and then just select fixture 2 here and put that one on blue and tell it to strobe, notice how you've got the second fixture strobing. So let's turn that off. Since that's obviously working right, we're going to just select both of these and we'll delete all the rows. And now let's take a look at the derby control. Whatever you choose on it, it turns it on over there. Can't see it great on the thing, but it is doing something. So right now it just turns it on. And then if we turn on the rotation, you'll see the derby starts moving. And then if you want it to strobe, you have to do its strobing stuff. So we can turn on the laser, take a look at the laser. You can choose the color that you want on the laser. So say we want it to be green. You can choose it on whatever pattern you want. It's showing a laser pattern at this point. You can make it strobe. You've got the color for if you want green, red, whatever you're wanting it to do. So that's how I set it up. I'm going to move this over here. And what I do is I turn around and then I create groups up here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to choose the 2 par cans, and actually what I first do is, let me close this out. I'm going to just discard that. And over here under patch the fixtures, first thing I do is give this thing a little bit of a more meaningful name. So we're going to call that Gigbar par. Actually, I'm going to cancel that for a second. I'm going to select 2 of these and show you what that does. So see how I've selected 2 of them using the shift key, and then right click on it, and we're going to say left, because this is going to be my left gig bar. Left gig bar par, and then I'm going to stop there and say OK. And what it does, it's pretty neat, is you'll notice it automatically puts the number 1 and 2 on it. So we've got left gig bar par 1, left gig bar par 2, and then we're going to do the same thing here with the control. We'll select the 2 controls. Gig bar L. So control 1, control 2. We'll do the same thing with the strobe. Actually, I'll come back and name these later. You can see what I'm doing here. It just makes it a little bit clearer on things. But the other thing that's going to be really useful is when you set these things up as groups. So then in here in your device browser, we're going to choose the 2 par cans. We're going to save it as a group. And we're going to choose gig bar left par, and we'll say all. And we'll create a folder for this. Let's see, do we already have some groups down here? Group called, no, I don't. Group called gig bars. So now it's down here in gig bars. I already had some groups here on things. Gig bar left par all. I undid this so I could redo it for stuff. Now the reason you do this is if you have one gig bar and you set up a bunch of cues, and then later on you add a second fixture, all you have to do is add that fixture to this group, and you know, do your palettes and things like that, and all of your cues will automatically work with it. You don't have to recreate a whole bunch of work. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Keep checking in on various stuff. There's other videos that I'm doing on my YouTube channel right now. We've got a huge 2016 YouTube show coming up with just a ton of lights and everything, and I'm documenting everything that we're doing for the whole thing. So I mean, here's the whole rig. A little bit. Again, this camera doesn't do anything justice, but this is the part of the rig that we're putting together on everything. It's got a total of about 45 different fixtures, including 8 moving head fixtures and scanners and all sorts of stuff. So hopefully these videos are going to get a little bit better. I'm going to keep working on the quality of them. All right, thanks guys and gals.